Yo, how's it going everyone? It's me, Arctic. Today's video we're going to be going over a complete guide to Yanfei. So we're going to cover a possible DPS route, a possible just support route, setting up pyro reactions with your other characters, which is what I think Yanfei excels at the most. Getting lots of pyro damage on enemies, similar to how Klee works if you run Klee as a support. We will also be talking about weapons that are good for Yanfei, and also some artifact choices that factor into each of the different builds you can run with her. If you guys want to support the channel, I am on my way to 1,000 subscribers, trying to get there pretty speedy, you know? I post all sorts of guides. I post actually 3 guides per character, one covering the stats when they initially come out, one covering weapons to use on this character, and then also I cover a complete comprehensive guide talking about artifacts, character details, weapons views, all that kind of stuff. I post some speculation videos on the next updates, that kind of stuff. So if you guys are interested in any of that, feel free to subscribe. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Keep in mind that Yanfei is a 4-star, so it should probably be relatively accessible for you. So if you guys wanted a Klee, but you didn't get a Klee because Klee is a 5-star, this is a close-ish playstyle to Klee. You really like Pyro Catalyst users. Yanfei is a pretty alright one. Let's summarize the skills real quick before we get into the actual builds. So Yanfei does have a lower base attack at 240. However, these are basically the standard for 4 stars at this rate. Rosaria had 240 as well. Yanfei gets pyro damage because she's a catalyst. There's pretty much no other stat that's actually any good on catalyst users other than their actual elemental damage. Her auto attacks are very similar to Klee's. She has 3 hits instead of the normal 5 hits that most other catalysts have. The charge attack multiplier also right here. You gain stacks with the amount of stacks you get from the auto attacks right here. So each auto attack is going to give you a stack, and then when you use your charge attack, it's going to consume those stacks. And with her passive, that's going to give you 5% pyro damage bonus for each stack. Passive also here gives you another AoE pyro damage hit when you actually hit a critical hit with this. That does 80% of the attack. Now that's actually pretty good because it's 80% of the attack that you run with this character. So even if you run this character as just a support, pop her in, use like 1 or 2 auto attacks, get the enemy a pyro applied, use a charged attack, you can still get a lot of solid pyro application and just a little bit of pyro damage with this. Right here, basically this just acts as a quick way to activate the 3 stacks without actually having an auto attack. So this can be good if you're trying to go for a reaction. You can either choose to go the charge attack route, or you can go with this if you're trying to go with the melt combination. Now this has a extremely low multiplier actually for any sort of E in the game, and this doesn't really do much except to give you 3 stacks of the Scarlet Seals right here, which is good if you pop in, use the E, you can charge attack right after that, and then you can follow up with some auto attacks and then another charge attack, and then and then you get Yanfei off the field, and you're pretty much good with that. And also keep in mind that the ult right here, if you do plan on running her as a main DPS, I would recommend running Energy Recharge because you want to have this ult up as much as possible. Show the energy cost right here, but I believe it's probably going to be either 40 or 60. I would say 60 just because that seems like a baseline for most characters. But basically this is going to increase your damage dealt by the charged attacks. We don't actually know how much it's going to increase the damage by, because it's not been revealed yet. So we'll have to see how much damage it actually increases. Like, Yanfei might actually be on par with Klee in terms of DPS, which would be surprising, but quite likely, considering we don't know how much damage bonus the charge attacks are going to get from this. But anyway, let's get into the actual DPS routes for this character. So the first thing you're going to want to do with the DPS route is definitely focus on your charge attacks, because that's going to be where most of your damage is coming from. And you're also going to want to focus on energy recharge, stats, that kind of stuff on your timepiece possibly. However, you can still run attack percentage on your timepiece if you get lucky with some energy recharge substats. So the first set that's going to be really good is the Wanderer's Troop set. Now this is going to give you extra elemental mastery, so if you're setting up melt reactions, 80 elemental mastery equates to around 10% extra melt damage-ish. I think it might be 10 or 20%. I'm not sure which. But the 4-piece bonus is going to be what really sets Yanfei apart from most other characters. So this is going to increase your charge attack damage by 35% if you use a catalyst or a bow, which Yanfei is a catalyst, so that works out. So this overall is a very good set. It works very well on characters like Ganyu for the extra charge attack damage. Alternatively, you can also go with the retracing bowlight set, which basically does the same thing, except this one, instead of just buffing your charged attacks, it actually is going to buff your normal attack damage. But you have to be affected by a shield, so if you got characters like Zhongli, or if you accidentally pull them off of Yanfei's banner, well, you're going to have a shield character that you can pop in and use this set. It's going to give you a lot more survivability with the increased shield strength, and you're also going to get 40% normal and charge attack damage, so that's a whole 5% more damage on your charge attacks, and you're also getting 40% more normal attack damage. So this overall is a very good route for DPS Yanfei. This set is probably one of the least likely sets for you to use. However, it is still very comparable to the playstyle of the retracing bowlight, except you don't have to be affected by a shield for this one. You just have to have pyro on enemies. Now this one actually is a good set for Klee, if you would use it on Klee. I think this is her best set for just straight up Klee DPS. No melt reactions, no nothing. But similar to Yanfei, you would be getting pyro application on enemies. You wouldn't be worrying about melt reactions because you wouldn't get anything from your artifact sets right here. But this is going to give you like 35%, and this actually affects all of your stuff. So this affects your burst, it affects your elemental skill, it affects your normal and charged attacks. So overall, this is a pretty viable option that people are going to have to test. Go-to set for pyro DPS characters is going to be the Crimson Witch of Flame set. Now this is going to give you another 15% pyro damage bonus, which already increases all of your pyro damage by 15%. And then the 4-piece, it's going to increase your overload and burning damage by 40%, so you're going to get higher reaction numbers. Also, when you use your skill, you're going to get a little bit more pyro damage bonus from this, which could be interesting in combination with her passive, that with the different stacks, you get amount of pyro damage from that. Now as for weapons, I've already made a weapons guide video, so if you guys want to check that out, I have that linked above. But for DPS, Solar Pro is very good. It gives you more normal attack damage and elemental burst damage, which is going to be very good. Wine and Song is a good option, just because if you're spinning around, you're going to be getting some extra attack. And all the 5 stars are very good options. If you're running the Bowlight set, the Memory of Dust would be pretty good, because you're going to get a lot of attack from that. Skyward Atlas is very good. It gives you elemental damage bonus and some extra AoE procs. But Lost Prayer to Sacred Winds is probably the best. It gives you movement speed, you get elemental damage for each stack that you actually hit enemies with, which works very well with her kit. Plus you also get crit rate, which is a nice addition to that. Also, a good option for if you're trying to go for melt reactions is the Widsith, because all of its buffs actually give you a lot of things, and it comes with crit damage, which is a very good stat for DPS characters. Now in terms of actual support Yanfei or just pyro application Yanfei, we've got several options that could be okay or pretty viable. Now in terms of support set, there's not really much in the game at the moment. However, there is a new set that's going to be coming out in update 1.5, and that's the Tenacity of the Millilith set. So basically this is going to increase your HP by 20% for the 2-piece, and for the 4-piece, whenever your elemental skills hit opponents, attack of party members is going to be increased by 20, and the shield strength is also increased by 30 for 3 seconds. Can be triggered once every 5 seconds. Can be triggered even if the character who is using this artifact set is not on the field. So Yanfei really isn't an off-field DPS character, but this will still actually buff your teammates, and I don't know if this actually can work. You can like stack this between characters. If you can stack this between characters, that would be pretty good. I know this also would be stackable with the Noblesse Oblige buff. Noblesse Oblige overall is a very, very good supporting set by itself. You're going to get more elemental burst damage, which is going to be where your main reaction damage are going to be coming from if you're using Yanfei as a reaction support. It also increases your party members' attack by 20% for 12 seconds. So overall, you're supporting your team with that. Alternatively, you can actually run a exile set. Now what this is going to do is going to give you some more energy recharge, so you can have your burst up a lot more. And whenever you activate your burst, you're going to get 2 energy for all party members, and that gives us about 6 energy in that 6-second duration. So overall, not that bad for an elemental burst central team. Character set is also similar. You're going to get more elemental mastery with this character, and you're also going to be able to buff your team's elemental mastery. This could work very well for like a vaporized team comp with characters like Tartaglia or something like that. Support, Thrilling Tales of Dragonslayer is very, very good. You're going to be getting your teammates a lot more attack. You can also run Favonius Codex, which is very good. Mapamari is okay for a support role. Sacrificial Fragments is a good option also, because you can pop your elemental skill, you can pop your charge attack, and then you can pop another elemental skill and pop your charge attack again. And it also comes with elemental mastery, and you're going to get more elemental particles from your increased amount of elemental skills you get. Wine and Song is still a very good support weapon right there. But that's basically it for the support weapons. That is it for the complete guide to building a Yanfei. Now, if you guys have any more questions, I will answer them down below. Also, if you guys want some more general kind of in-game tips on if you would rather use, like, for example, a Widsith or a Solar Pearl, which situations those are kind of better in. Also, feel free to check out my other videos that I have done on Yanfei. For each of my character reviews, I do a stats review where I go over their comprehensive stats, what situations they're good in. I do a weapons review talking about what weapons are good on this specific character. And then I also do a complete comprehensive build guide which covers artifacts, weapons, and a little bit of stats and game situations. Anyway, that's it for me, Arctic. I will see you guys next time. Farewell.